Hello, second graders, and welcome to our math lesson for today. Today's lesson is the first lesson in our new unit about collecting data, and that's what lesson 10.1 is called. It's called Collect Data. And the essential question that we're going to be asking ourselves is, how do you use a tally chart to record data from a survey? So there's a couple of terms here that some of you may not be used to or have never heard of before. So data is kind of like information. So it can be numerical, which means it could be in the form of numbers. It could also be in the form of categories. So like a person's favorite color, that could also be considered data, their favorite ice cream flavor. If you ask a bunch of people that same question, their answers are the data. That's what you're collecting. You're collecting what people's favorite ice cream is or what their favorite color is. So, like I said, data could be in numbers and it also can be in kind of categories as well. The other key word here is a survey. So a survey is kind of like a list of questions. You might have seen surveys like if you go to a restaurant, sometimes they'll give you a survey which has a list of questions about your experience at that restaurant that you can fill out, and then they take that survey and they record your answers and they collect data on it. They kind of check the numbers and see how many people liked their experience, how many people didn't like their experience, and so on. So data again is just the information that you collect from a survey, which is like a list of questions. So today we're going to be figuring out how to use a tally chart, and I'm sure you all are familiar with how to make tally marks. To count certain things. So we're going to find out, how do you use a tally chart to record data from a survey.
Hi, friends. I'm so glad that it's windy today. The sky is filled with kites. I found a piece of paper on the ground. It looks like some sort of chart. Click the kite to take a closer look. The chart shows the results of a survey that shows the number of red kites, blue kites, and yellow kites the people are flying. I wonder how many more blue kites there are than red kites. I think this tally chart can help. Come on, let's learn about how data is shown in a tally chart.
So just a refresher, so the number of kites would be the data. So how many red kites there are, how many blue kites, how many yellow kites, the number of kites of a certain color, that's going to be the data. That's what we're collecting. And of course, again, this is the survey. So this was the survey to show the different color kites and how many kites there were.
Let's record information about the colors of these cubes. You can record information in a tally chart. Let's record this green cube first. Make a tally mark for the green cube in the green row. Notice that we crossed out the cube that we recorded in the chart. Now let's record this blue cube in the chart. Make a tally mark for the blue cube in the blue row. Now let's record this red cube in the chart. Make a tally mark for the red cube in the red row. Then we continue to record these other cubes in the chart.
So just a quick refresher before we do the rest of them. So just make sure that when you're counting one object, that's equivalent to one tally mark. Okay, so one cube represents one tally mark, and so then you just keep adding. So then if you were to add another blue one, like we're about to do over here, you would add a second tally mark. Same with the green. If you're going to add a second green cube, you would add a second tally mark. So let's go ahead and do the rest.
We make a tally mark for each cube in the matching color row. We have a couple more cubes to record. The tally mark for the fifth red cube is shown as a diagonal mark across the 4 tally marks made before it. There is one more cube to record on the chart. This sixth tally mark is shown next to the group of 5. It starts a new group. All the cube colors are recorded in the tally chart. Now let's show the number of cubes of each color. There are 4 blue cubes. There is a set of 5 tallies in the red row, plus 1 more tally. There are 6 red cubes. There is 1 more row to count and record. There are 2 green cubes. We can make tally marks in a chart to record information. It is easier to count tally marks when they are in a group of 5.
So that's really important to remember. So when you have 5 of an object, the fifth tally mark always goes across the first 4. Okay, so tally marks are usually kind of arranged in groups of 5. So once you get to that fifth one, you put the fifth tally mark kind of diagonally across the first 4. And then if you have more than 5, then you just keep going and you try and make another set of 5. Okay, so this one tally mark right here is the sixth tally mark, and it would continue a new group if there were more red cubes. So if there were more red cubes, you would keep adding more until you got to another set of 5, and then you would put another diagonal across those 4. Okay, so, and we do this because it does make it easier to count tally marks when you group them by 5, because counting by 5 is very easy, and I'm sure a lot of you know how to do that as well. So counting by 5s kind of helps you count a lot of different tally marks quicker and easier. So that's why we kind of group tally marks by 5s.
A survey is used to collect data. Greg took a survey. He asked his classmates which lunch is their favorite. Then he recorded their choices. The data from Greg's survey is recorded with tally marks in a chart. The tally marks in the tally chart show answers to Greg's survey. Each tally mark stands for one of Greg's classmates' choice. Remember that a fifth tally mark is shown as a diagonal mark across 4 other tally marks. Show how many of Greg's classmates chose each lunch as their favorite. Drag numbers to the right of the chart.
Okay, so the first one is pizza. So let's count to see how many people voted for pizza as their favorite lunch. So we have a 5 set of tally marks right here. So we can automatically say that this is 5. And then we have 1 more. So the next number after 5 would be 6. So 6 people picked pizza as their favorite lunch. All right, now let's move on to sandwiches. So we have another set of 5. So we have 5, 6, 7 tally marks there. So 7 people liked sandwiches as their favorite lunch. Now let's look at salad. Now salad doesn't have a group of 5 because it doesn't have that fifth tally mark going across. So we're just going to count these individual tally marks right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 people voted for salad as their favorite lunch. And then pasta. Pasta, we just see a set of 5. We don't see any extra tally marks. We don't see any less tally marks that are kind of on their own. We just see that one set of 5. So pasta, we know, is liked by 5 people. Now let's check our work.
That's right. The tally marks show that 6 of Greg's classmates like pizza for lunch, 7 like sandwiches, 4 like salad, and 5 like pasta. Which lunch did the most classmates choose? Select the row.
So let's think about it. So let's look for the one that had the most votes. So we had 6 for pizza, 7 for sandwiches, 4 for salad, and 5 for pasta. So the biggest number here is 7, right? So more people liked sandwiches as their favorite lunch than any other option.
Good job! Most classmates chose sandwiches. Which lunch did the fewest classmates choose? Select the row.
Okay, so then we would look at the smallest number in our data here. So we have, again, 6, 7, 4, and 5. And 4 is the smallest number out of all those. So the least popular favorite lunch option was salad.
Excellent! The least number of classmates chose salad. A tally chart helps you see the data recorded from your survey. You can easily count the groups of 5 tally marks.
Okay. So very simple, and again, we always want to encourage that when we see a tally mark with this, with that fifth tally mark going across, we want to make sure that we can kind of associate that with just 5, right? It's still possible to count them, so you can count each one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but if you can get in the habit of just saying 5 when you see these and counting by 5s whenever you see more of them, it will make your counting of the tally marks a lot easier.
Now let's practice with the personal math trainer.
All right, let's do it. So it says, Mako asked her classmates to choose their favorite subject. She made this tally chart. Okay, so here's her survey, which collected her data. How many more classmates chose math than reading? So let's see. So we have to in order to find out how many more classmates chose math than reading, we have to see how many people chose math and how many people chose reading. So for reading, there was 5, 6, and for math, there was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're going to take the greater one, which is math, and we're going to subtract the smaller one, which was reading. So 9 minus 6 equals 3. So 3 more classmates chose math as their favorite subject than reading. Ooh, we forgot to check our answer. Hold on, let's go back. So we said 3.
Good job!
All right, there we go. So to find the difference, remember, we have to subtract. And we always take the biggest number first and subtract the smallest number from it. Okay, so we have another tally sheet here that's collecting data of favorite indoor games. And the question is asking us, how many more classmates chose card games than computer games? So again, we're finding the difference. How many more classmates chose card games than computer games? So card games, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. And computer games, there was 1, 2, 3. So card games had 4, computer games had 3. So 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1 more classmate chose card games than computer games.
Excellent!
Okay, so that's just another example of how you can also use a survey to collect the data and then use the data to answer questions like this. How many more classmates chose one thing than the other? What was the most popular option that was chosen? What was the least popular option that was chosen? So that's kind of how we use data to answer certain questions like that.
Now try your homework on your own with the personal math trainer. It includes the exercise you saw at the beginning of the lesson.
Okay, so now is your time to go log on to Think Central and complete the assignment for 10.1. There is not going to be another video next to this one because they gave us a lot of really good examples there. So if you really need to kind of refresh yourself on certain points of this lesson, definitely watch this video again and go through some of those activities that we just did again. They gave us some really good examples there, so hopefully now you kind of have a better understanding and a good sense of how to collect data and use that data to answer certain questions. Okay, so go ahead and log on to Think Central and complete the assignment for lesson 10.1. Good job, everybody.